Well, first of all, welcome to Riga one more time. For me, today is the feeling like Christmas came early. We have two very interesting series in the playoffs, and then we still don't know who will play in the finals, and we still don't know who's gonna win in the finals. But for you, it's a tough work to do during this Christmas season. So how is it?
Like you said, it is tough work. It's always a challenge. I think I bring something to the team with my size and my presence that other teams always focus on. So it's never really a moment where the other team stops focusing on me. But it is great being out there with the guys and fighting every night. So can't really complain at all.
Can you describe in a few words what's Latvian basketball like?
It's pretty technical, a lot of physicality. A lot of teams play fast and in transition. So that's about what I'm seeing so far.
But if you would have to compare with other leagues you played in, then which would be the most similar to Latvian?
Israel, because the speed. A lot of teams play in transition and want to get out and score easy baskets. So from what I've seen so far, that's what I compare it to.
For us, as for a small country, it's always interesting when someone comes here to ask, did you know about Latvia before you joined VEF Riga or even when you were in the USA? Have you ever heard about the word Latvia?
Yeah, I've heard of a few guys. Kristaps Porzingis, Dyrus actually, and his brother. I'd heard of them previously, but as far as being in Latvia and really where it was, this is kind of my first endeavor with it.
Okay, but that's normal, I think, because in Europe sometimes we say, okay, people from USA, Americans, they don't know any of geographic of Europe. But also for us, okay, we know it's USA, but where is California and where is Boston? My mom definitely doesn't know where is it.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's a lot of people even in America that don't know where some stuff is, being such a big country and having different states and everything. So I'd agree with you there.
Okay, but so you said that our NBA players are great ambassadors of Latvia, and they're spreading the word, and people at least they remember the word.
I definitely would say so. Since coming, I've realized it's a really big basketball nation, and soccer is the main thing everywhere. But I love that Latvia has such a big, rich basketball culture here.
Not here. For us in Latvia, basketball is number one. Of course, ice hockey fans will argue with me because now the World Championship starting, that's where also America is playing and Canada and so on. But I guess for you, the playoffs are more important than this World Championship here.
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard anything about it, so don't be upset with me, Latvians. But yeah, I've heard hockey is really in this region, Estonia, Latvia, I heard it's really big.
Okay, well, you came here for the first time. Does it somehow surprise you? At least some things, there should be something that you say, wow, that's how you do this.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know exactly where on the map Latvia was, and when I got here it was snowy. I didn't quite expect that. But
you thought it's gonna be much sunny.
Yeah, a little bit more, but geographically it makes perfect sense. So yeah, that and like I said, just the basketball culture here. How much they love it and how just rich it is, even in places that are pretty rural, like Ventspils or some of the other places we've been. That kind of shocked me.
Tāpat kā dzīvē nav divu vienādu rokrakstu vai raksturu, tāpat nav arī divu līdzīgu biznesa izaugsmes stāstu. Un tāpat kā dzīvē, arī biznesā mēs meklējam tos, kas vēlas mūs saprast. Veiksmīgi uzņēmumi prasa uzmanību un iedziļināšanos. Tas ir tas, ko saņemsiet Rietumu bankā. Rietumu banka ir Latvijas lielākā vietējā kapitāla banka, kas finansē biznesa attīstību.
Okay, but you came from country lots of Latvian couldn't spot on a map.
Yeah.
So it's what was playing there. We actually know, I would say we know zero about those basketball that are playing there.
It's kind of the same. It's a smaller country. That region, they're kind of just now getting to be huge as far as civilization and everything goes. But they're pretty big from a basketball standpoint. I think soccer is the dominant sport there as well.
As in rest of the Europe, except Latvia and Lithuania.
But yeah, it's it's kind of small. They're finding their feet, but it is a pretty good basketball country as well.
Okay, about you. You've been living in the largest state of USA, right?
No.
In Aļaskā.
Oh yeah, actually, excuse me. Yeah, I lived there.
You also thought I was gonna say Texas, right?
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant. Yeah, thought you'd get me confused with Curtis for a second there. But I grew up there. Colorado, North Carolina, due to my parents' military service.
Yeah. So that was a lot of moving around in your childhood?
Quite a bit. By the time I was born, I'm the youngest of three. By then, they kind of had gotten out and we started to settle. But they chose to go to Aļaskā because there's a lot of benefits to living there, and that's just where they were comfortable.
And I read that you started to play basketball only when you were 14 years old. Is that true?
Yeah, 13 or 14 is when I found it, right when I started growing. At first, I was playing American football, and I kind of grew out of it, actually. So I was in 7th grade playing with high school kids. So I was like, yeah, this isn't working. I need to find something else. And I'm glad I did, because it's a lot safer to be on a basketball court. Sometimes I'm not sure with the way some guys foul, but, much safer. So,
of course, in USA, you can also say it's primarily NFL, and then it's all the rest.
It's pretty diverse. I think
Depends
baseball.
On the state?
I think baseball is kind of the biggest as far as the whole country.
Okay. Not NFL.
No, I think baseball is the biggest. The America's favorite pastime is what they call it. So football is pretty popular. Basketball is pretty big, but I think baseball is the reigning thing, and then it kind of fizzles out from there.
But they have more games than practices.
Yeah, a lot of games.
Baseball season.
A lot of games, yeah. But I think that's part of why people love it so much, because you can always, just about any game or any day of the week, catch a game. So,
yeah, that's also something we can't understand here, because we just don't take a glove and ball and go outside in the yard and throw a ball a little bit or throw American football. That's actually what I do sometimes, but for us as a nation, we can't understand that. What can you find in this? It's so long. It's there's games all the time, and when you compare it with the NFL, then there's actually that game is just interrupting, and they're playing for a few seconds, and again, next interruption.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that's how a lot of Americans feel about soccer, a really, really long game, kind of hard to watch at times. But yeah, I'd agree with you. I think that's what makes sports special. Every sport, the way it's played, the ins and outs are always different.
So, okay, it means you're 14 years old, you're starting to grow, and you decide, well, basketball is gonna be my thing.
Mm-hmm. I had a friend up there who kind of started bringing me around the game. I've always been big my whole life, but then around 7th or 8th grade is when I really started to grow and grow and grow. So I think I found it at the perfect time. I've always played the center position, so I have a love for being a big man that it's just always kind of followed me.
Okay, I thought that would be interesting. How would you look if Šaka would be near you? And then I saw the picture with you and Šaka, and I think, did you feel the same as I'm feeling now? Because, you're big, but he's like, that's something completely different.
Yeah, it's not many times on a basketball court or off that I feel like a small guy. And, he's tall and wide, so that definitely was a special thing meeting him. But yeah, he definitely made me feel small.
What was the meeting with him?
I was playing at the University of North Carolina, and we were in the Bahamas. And one of my teammates, Kenny Smith's son, Kenny Smith Jr. His dad, he works with Shaq on NBA, the TNT show. So we were just relaxing in between games after a practice, and he was just at one of the places we were, and we got to sit down, talk to him, and kind of just enjoy a night with their families and everything. Is a really special moment.
Yeah, but actually, so that shows how small is the world, right? Because you have your friend whose dad works with Šaka, and that's well, the same here. If you would play for a few more years, you will know everyone in Latvia.
Yeah, basketball especially. The world is really small, but basketball is a really small world. What I've learned is that everybody knows somebody. It's rare or impossible that you just come out of nowhere and no one knows you. You know, everybody knows someone. So.
Okay, but North Carolina, it's also, I think, for 99.9% of people will have one person in their mind when they hear North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. How was it to play in a team where Michael was playing and where he won his NCAA title?
It was a special feeling, you know. It was my dream, being originally from North Carolina. I always wanted to play there. I actually met him one time, and he came to the game, and it was like nothing else. Like the whole stadium erupted, and just his presence as a player and as a person and what he's done is just unrivaled.
But you changed the universities in the end. Why was it so? And you had a better year in Jacksonville after that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just kind of needed to change the scenery. By the time I left, things were changing at UNC, so I just decided to leave and ended up finding Jacksonville as a home.
You also reached March Madness, right? And that's when your Instagram stops with the March Madness pictures.
Yeah, we the 2022 tournament, we made it there. It was a really special thing for us. We had a great year. We won the conference, the regular season. And we made it to the promised land, so to speak, March Madness. So doing that in a mid-major school, a smaller level, it definitely was special for us.
Yeah, that's also something. For example, North Carolina now hired the head coach from NBA with NBA titles, actually, also, right? Yeah. And that's something, well, how, like, we think NBA is the main thing, but actually you rotate through NCAA and NBA, and that's like the respect for you is the same. Either you're from NCAA at the moment or from NBA, right?
Yeah, it's America, you know, college sports. I think that's part of what makes it special as far as the sporting aspect goes. The college sports are huge, whether it's football, baseball. I think that's just a whole nother world. The NCAA is huge, and it's getting bigger as we see a lot of global guys starting to go to college for the money and everything. So that's I think that's part of what makes it a huge thing, just from a money perspective and everything else in America, the college side of things.
What were you studying in a university, in a college?
Communications. Yeah, so I thought maybe I'd go on to be a sportscaster or a radio host or something. I still might.
If Shaka could do that, why not, right? And you have some connections already.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'd say I had a personality for it, so that's what I was studying to go to school for.
Yeah, okay. So about that Instagram, you forgot your password, or you nothing so special happened after that March Madness thing, and maybe Latvian championship is gonna take place there?
I kind of just stepped away from it, you know, coming from a place like UNC where it's such a big basketball school, and the personality and everything is always just kind of, you're always under the public eye. I don't know, I just kind of chose to step away from it. So I just want to do my thing and kind of just live a life for me.
You agree that we are using too much social networks now at the moment, or asking too much things to artificial intelligence?
It's a two-way street, you know. As much as I kind of think that stuff is helpful, I think it can be harmful as well. I'm not sure if I'd say too much, because I think it kind of is a huge part. Like when you go without it, you see how important it is and how much of a tool it can be. So I'm not sure if I'd say too much, but AI is pretty scary. I think we are kind of reaching the point where it's too much, because so many of what we see and so much of what we ingest now is it's hard to tell what's real and what's not anymore. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay, then I think one episode I will remember for at least till the end of the finals, because you seemed like super scary, and you're dunking and blocking the shots and so on when you're on a court. And then I was driving near the park, and I saw, who's that guy? Sun is shining, he's smiling, he's walking with a dog. And you see, no, that's just a boy with a dog, and he's happy, and that's something completely different off the court.
Yeah, I've heard they said I'm scary. I'm a nice guy, but on the court, it's a whole different situation. I play with a lot of passion. I think that's what we need to kind of bring us along and make sure where we need to be as a team mentally and just have the mind state to just kill everyone and do our best.
Okay, the last thing. Do you agree with me that if I'm not standing besides you, I'm also like a tall person, yeah? And that's when somebody asks you, can you take something from the upper shelf and so on? And for us, it's okay, it's normal. Mm-hmm. But why do those who are not so tall, they think it's kind of not okay when you think, hey, could you take it up from the floor because you're closer to that?
Yeah. I say it's nothing to be upset about, In the same way they'd ask me to, I'd hope they would do it for me. But I think as much as everyone wants to be tall, acts like it's an advantage to be tall, the world's made for normal sized people. So I feel like we're kind of the outsiders, so to speak, rather than everybody else who's usually pretty short. So try not to be offended by it.
Do you watch the other series of semifinals?
Yeah, we've been keeping up with it pretty closely. We were supposed to go to the Zelly game the other night. Tony and Curtis ended up going. I didn't end up going, but we're supposed to watch Valmira tonight, and we're kind of just watching to see what happens. And yeah, we're keeping pretty close watch on it.
Do you have preferences against who would you like to play?
Valmira is a tough team to play against. I don't consider myself to be running from anyone, of course. But seeing that I came so late, it might be nice to play Zelly and get a new look because I haven't played them since coming. But whoever wins, we're going to try and do our best to win and get there. Whoever they put in front of us, we'll try and play and beat. So I don't have any preferences. I don't run from anyone.
Okay, good luck. Good luck in the finals and see you in a party after the last game.
All right, now sounds good. See you there.
Ienāc un saņem labāko kazino piedāvājumu. Jaunais Fēniks. 2 reiz vairāk, 2 reiz labāk.